What's up? I am Cece and welcome to my channel. If you can call it that yet, we're getting there. I usually put out videos once a week on Monday or Tuesday and talk about whatever weird internet rabbit hole I've fallen down that week. Anything from multi-level marketing to other scammy business practices to Caroline Calloway. So if you do like that kind of thing, feel free to stick around and subscribe, and let's get into it. So today I wanted to talk about Gwenyth Paltrow's relatively infamous lifestyle brand called Goop. I will just preface and say I haven't watched the Netflix series on it. Maybe I will, but I'm not sure if I want to subject myself to that just for the sake of this video. Gwenyth Paltrow is of course best known for being an actress. She has won, I believe, a couple of Academy Awards. She is also the daughter of a famous Hollywood producer and actor. And then she founded her lifestyle brand Goop in 2008. Now, celebrities having blogs and lifestyle brands is nothing new. Zooey Deschanel has one called Hello Giggles, Blake Lively had one called Preserve, but somehow none of these have risen to quite the level of infamy that Goop has. The name Goop comes from Gwenyth's initials GP, and then she says that she was once told jokingly that all successful internet companies have two O's in the name, so she put those things together and came up with Goop. So let's just explore Goop's website a little bit and see what they have to offer here. On their About page, it says, in 2008, Gwenyth Paltrow launched Goop from her kitchen as a homespun weekly newsletter. It's grown a lot since then. We operate from a place of curiosity and non-judgment, and we start hard conversations, crack open taboos, and look for connection and resonance everywhere we can find it. We don't mind being the tip of the spear. In short, we go first so you don't have to. We're glad you're here. Pretty vague, but okay. So Goop is sort of an online blog combined with an online store, combined with like wellness and some almost medical advice. When you click around their products, they have some normal stuff, such as a $95 face cream, a $225, whatever this even is, active treatment essence. Way outside of my budget for skincare, but not that weird. They also sell clothes, which are rather expensive, but again, if people have the disposable income and they want to spend it on that, that is fine by me. It gets a little more interesting when you go to Goop's wellness section, and then I clicked on health. So some of the articles have this little tag on them that says supported by science. I would hope it is if you're publishing it as health advice. This also implies that they publish other health articles that are not supported by science. I assume that this is Goop trying to make up for when they've taken heat in the past for publishing advice or making claims that are, we will say, less than scientific. And we will get into that now, actually. So probably the most infamous of these false health claims that Goop made was in 2018. They were fined $145,000 for making unsubstantiated claims about a jade yoni egg that they sold on their website for $66. They alleged that this egg could, quote, balance hormones, regulate menstrual cycles, prevent uterine prolapse, and increase bladder control. This was pretty quickly and pretty harshly called out by the medical community. Dr. Jen Gunter, who is an OBGYN, wrote and published an open letter to Gwenyth Paltrow debunking all of this. She says that not only are the claims surrounding the product completely unscientific and unfounded, but that using this product in the way they instructed could also be dangerous and could lead to, among other things, toxic shock syndrome. I won't read the letter, but I will definitely link it below, and I suggest checking it out if you're interested because it is pretty scathing. Now, obviously, $145,000 is nothing. That's just a slap on the wrist for a huge company like Goop. So they paid the fine, and the egg is still available on their website. They have just removed the unsubstantiated claims about it. Now, this is definitely not the only dubious claim or bad health advice that Goop has promoted. Gwenyth Paltrow herself is super obsessed with detoxes and has a ton of them that she recommends on goop.com. She has said that she and the Goop staff go on a detox together every January. Now, most scientists and doctors say that the idea of detoxing is kind of nonsense. Your body naturally eliminates toxins by itself. That's literally the function of your liver. I also personally just don't really like the concept of detoxes because I think they pretty much just embody the most harmful elements of diet culture. Most detoxes or cleanses are really just crash diets that are disguised as wellness. It's one thing to focus on eating healthy, unprocessed foods and really giving your body what it needs. It's another thing to say, hey, you need to subsist on kale and lime juice for a week and then you'll be healthy, which is often code for skinny, like Gwenyth Paltrow. Just please, if you do want to do something like that, make sure you're going about it in a safe and healthy way that is actually going to do your body good. Some of the detoxes recommended by Goop include the heavy metal detox, because your body is apparently full of heavy metal. This is the editor's note included in the heavy metal detox article on Goop. That's a lot of words to say. This is complete nonsense. Detoxing your shower, which seems to pretty much come down to just cleaning your shower head. This one seems like it's pretty much a scare tactic to sell a $275 shower head that Goop offers that they claim is easier to detox. There's also an 8-day detox they recommend where you consume nothing but goat milk because according to Goop, you probably have a parasite and that's the best way to get rid of it. Goop also caught a lot of heat for selling these wearable body stickers that were supposed to promote healing and wellness. They were allegedly made out of the same material as NASA spacesuits. That claim was something that NASA publicly and quickly called bullshit on. Now today, when you go to the article on goop.com that is still up that recommends these stickers, there's a note that tags them as rituals and spiritual practices. It says this: these concepts enrich the spiritual and emotional aspects of some people's lives. Although there probably aren't going to be peer-reviewed studies about them, there is merit in the value that they bring people. Now this to me just seems like a really scummy way to get around making completely unsubstantiated claims, because you can't argue with someone's spiritual beliefs. So I think Goop has just realized that they can kind of promote any shit product or make any unsubstantiated claim and just tag it as spiritual and make money off of it. If you ask me, it's kind of insulting to the entire concept of religion and spirituality in general. After the response from NASA saying, no, these stickers are not made out of the same material as our spacesuit, Goop removed that claim from their website and released this statement. As we have always explained, advice and recommendations included on Goop are not formal endorsements, and the opinions expressed by the experts and companies we profile do not necessarily represent the views of Goop. Our content is meant to highlight unique products and offerings, find open-minded alternatives, and encourage conversation. I just feel like featuring something and also offering it for sale on your website is pretty much as close to a formal endorsement as it gets. But then of course, after receiving backlash, they backpedal and say, no, we weren't endorsing these. We just thought, our readers might find them interesting. Oh, and these stickers cost $120 for a pack of 24. So why has Goop been able to be so successful despite being kind of universally hated and ridiculed? Firstly, I think it's obvious that Gwenyth Paltrow's existing fame and money helped her get this thing off the ground. Her website kind of tries to paint this picture of humble beginnings, saying she started it herself in her kitchen, but she wasn't some gutsy entrepreneur starting from the bottom here. She was already very rich and famous with the resources and the capital to have a team of assistants basically help her get this thing off the ground. But I do think that either Gwenyth or her team saw a niche in the market here and was smart enough to figure out how to fill it. And now 12 years later, Goop is worth $250 million. Gwenyth Paltrow pretty much epitomizes the rich, extremely privileged, out-of-touch white woman, the kind who eats $15 salads every day and probably hasn't done her own grocery shopping in like 20 years, if ever. Let's not forget also that her parents are Hollywood royalty, so she was kind of born into this lifestyle and has probably never known what most of us consider a normal life. And she has taken a lot of shit for that. Some of it undeserved. I mean, I don't think she can help that she was born into a privileged family, but some of it definitely deserved. There was this time she did the Snap Challenge, which is when celebrities try to feed themselves using food stamps. It comes out to about $29 a week, and Gwenyth ended up buying like 7 limes and a bunch of fresh kale and not much else. It's pretty funny.
Eating the rich.
But my point is, Gwenyth Paltrow is aware, I think, that she represents this caricature of a privileged white lady who has endless resources and a team of servants, assistants, and all the time in the world to go to yoga and get facials and practice wellness, whatever that means. but she saw a niche in the market there and said, I'll tell you what that means, and founded Goop. I think we all love to hate this woman because she is just so incredibly privileged and so out of touch with what real life is like for normal people. Gwenyth Paltrow was actually voted the most hated celebrity in 2016. But interestingly enough, that same week, she was voted the most beautiful celebrity. So I think we love to hate women like Gwenyth Paltrow, but we also secretly want to be like them. I mean, who would not want to have a life of leisure and basically endless money and personal assistance and the ability to travel whenever you want? So clearly she's onto something here. And I think what she's onto is there is something about spending exorbitant amounts of money on these frivolous health, wellness, beauty products that feeds people's egos and their own elitism. I don't think anyone buys products from Goop because they need them or even because they particularly like the product. I think it's a status symbol. It's a statement about your own privilege to say, oh my God, I love Gwenyth Paltrow's Jade facial roller, or show off that you have the disposable funds to spend on things like a yoni egg or moon juice sex dust or whatever else. These are all real products offered on her website, by the way. So you can see how Gwenyth took this rather negative public perception of her and capitalized upon it to create a brand that appeals to, I'm gonna make assumptions here, I'm going to assume mostly upper middle class, mostly white women who want to be like her and who have disposable income to spend on these frivolous wellness products. And so far, this has worked really well for her. So in conclusion, do I think Gwenyth Paltrow is on the same level as someone like Gary Young, who straight up practiced medicine without a license and said that his products could cure cancer and stuff like that? No, I don't. But do I think someone like Gwenyth Paltrow, who has a huge platform and a huge business, has a responsibility to fact check their claims and make sure they're sharing accurate information? Yes, I do. I certainly think she has a responsibility to not be sharing inaccurate information for the sake of profit. I just think that's really scummy, and that seems like kind of the entire premise of Goop. But I just think it goes to show that sometimes being skeptical can be a good thing. I think it's a good idea to do your own research and to not just blindly take the advice of people who may not really know what they're talking about and may have an agenda. And I don't mean do your own research like the middle-aged women from your hometown when they read one Facebook article and decide that vaccines are bad for you. I mean, seek out the opinion of experts and scientists, people who are more knowledgeable than I am about this kind of thing, and really see what they think. All right, that is it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.